is the desk on Global Television.
Nigeria. Come join Anthony Momodu on television's most compelling and facts-finding talk live show.
We are the Palestinians.
Can we not
we
say
are
that
the
again?
because
that this country gets it right.
who are these bandits?
It's the Dex on Global Television, where we analyze and dissect storming issues and commentaries in the world's biggest black nation, Nigeria.
Who is being held accountable for this money?
The eyes have it.
We stay and decide policies and reforms on the Dex. Tune in Mondays to Fridays, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Global Television. Let's stay on the Dex.
Is the desk on Global Television. All right, welcome to another exciting edition of the program, The Desk on Global Television, where we give you very deep perspective to issues making the rounds across the globe and in the African continent, and specifically Nigeria. My name is Anthony Momodu. Welcome to The Desk. And I've got in the studio my guest in the person of Toba Owojai, who is a political analyst. And to help us look at the very interesting talking point to be looking at, we'll begin from Cameroon is where we'll be starting from. But before we do that, nice to have you in the studios.
Thanks for having me.
I think the last time we were here, we didn't have enough time to chew on some issues, but thankfully today is going to be another opportunity. But let's begin from Cameroon, where the big talking point has to do with the President Paul Biya of Cameroon, who on Monday returned to the country amid rumors of his death. Biya arrived at Yaoundé's international airport, the Cameroonian capital. The 91-year-old appeared on the state broadcast CRTV after the presidential plane landed, shaking hands with officials next to his wife. And as the jubilant crowd waited to greet him a few weeks ago, questions were raised over Biya's health and whereabouts following his disappearance from public view. Biya whereabouts were known after attending the China-Africa Summit in Beijing at the beginning of September. Let's look at this. Should he be celebrated? We're seeing reports of people jubilating 91-year-old, still the president of Cameroon. Is this right?
It's sad to even comment on the fact that, well, we're happy he's alive.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yes, we're happy he's alive, but the fact that a 91-year-old man is coming back, being celebrated, and is planning to run again for office, I don't know what he wants to, whether he's going to run or crawl for office. I cannot understand, or how he wants to become president for another set of years. It's disheartening for what we call democracy. There's no reason why they shouldn't have somebody far younger at this time and age. He has been there. He also served in various capacities before he became president. So he has been at this for almost 70 years. So I really don't understand what is going on in Cameroon.
Let's look at the implication of such sit-tight leadership or rulership of African leaders. Where would this take Cameroon to? We saw it happen in Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe and all that. How do you see this panning out? Because this was some of the issue of bad governance that led some West African countries leave the ECOWAS bloc.
Yeah, the Francophone countries are actually under a stronger hold of France than Nigeria and other countries are under the
Anglophone.
Anglophone hold. So for us, we just have presidential candidates that go there to do their vacations, or presidential hopefuls who always have to go to England to see them before they even have the chance. All top 3 candidates in Nigeria usually go to England for one reason, beyond even Chatham House. For one reason or another, they must all go to England before they get a chance. This is just another colonization all over again by proxy. And it's disheartening that in 2024, Cameroonian youths, everybody speaking about issues in Africa cannot gather and be able to say, let a fresh president be on ground. Let them have a fair election. And of course, when people are victims for too long, they gradually do not even feel their chains. So you go to Cameroon, they just feel like, how do you stand up against this? If you stand up against this and he still wins, what do you do again? You become mentally defeated. So I think the people are defeated to a horrible extent that they don't want to even contest against him.
But for like the African Union, the ECOWAS, and other Eastern Bloc, unions, is it out of place for them to speak truth to power?
Of course, you see, our constitution makes it in a way that our president can only serve 2 terms. Cameroon's constitution doesn't have that. So they should start from their lawmakers. For heaven's sake, they should put forth a law that you cannot be president more than twice. As much as we have our own issues, we've been able to solve that since 1999. A sitting president wanted a 3rd term, and everybody stood against it. And Buhari that just left, some people were whispering a 3rd term, and he saw the body language of the country, and he stayed very clear away from that. So there's a lot we expect from Cameroonians, from their lawmakers and others, to stand up to this. This is not personal. This is out of no beef for him. I even believe that coming back to Nigeria's Senate, we should have a law that nobody can be senator for more than 8 years in Nigeria. We need those laws. Will it burn some people? Yes. Will some people be angry? Yes. But will it be good for us? Yes, yes, yes. We need to remove sentiments and be able to bring forth laws that will help Africa.
All right. In terms of the media space in Cameroon, would you say we could hold them responsible for also not playing their role? Because when it came to Paul Biya's health, the government did ban any public discourse as regards the president's health status. Is that good enough?
You see, all these are indices of complete slavery in the mind, first of all. Nigeria's press is still a bit liberal. You can still talk about the president. You can still say what you want to say about Akpabio. There are things you can still say and breathe as a journalist. You walk back home, nobody calls you, nobody arrests you. But Cameroon is not there yet. It may not even be the president. It may just be the closest thug to your house that comes to lynch you. So these are the challenges. The issue is that you don't need a 91-year-old man to tell you that he would come and fight you. There are people younger who will do the job. Just thinking they are doing him a favor, they will come and do the job in your house. So these are the things they need to start writing. They need some of them who will go abroad, stay in safer areas, and continue the writing, continue the pushing. This is what we did with Nadeko and in Nigeria. They need to do the same thing. Move some big brains out of the country and let them fill the media space from wherever they are.
Do you think it's because they also have their own fair share? Because we know we have the Anglophone separatist group in Cameroon who are also fighting the French-speaking government. Do you think they have enough muscle to cause a change in Cameroon?
No, they don't even have the numbers. Then that has split the country. There are a lot of places where you better be speaking French if you love yourself, or else you're in trouble. So, and then there's also the marginalization of the English-speaking part of Cameroon. I believe they should be pushing for another country. As easy, though we have not done that here yet, but I think they should push for another country. They would get it, because imagine this has taken place for too long. How can somebody be president for 30-something plus years, and is still seeking to become president again at the age of 91, 92?
All right, very sad.
How do we explain this to our children in the next 40 years? How do we explain it?
All right, let's see how that's going to pan out. Let's come back to Nigeria, where we're looking at what's playing out as regards the well-being of judicial officers. And the story tells us that the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Kudirat Kekere Ekun, has said that the Tinubu administration recognizes the mental and emotional well-being of judicial officers. As she said, the administration has in mind the fact that the mental and emotional health of judicial officers is directly tied to their living conditions. She made a statement on Monday during the flag off of the design and construction of 40 housing units for judges' quarters in Katampe district of the Federal Capital Territory. Kekere Ekun performed the groundbreaking exercise in presence of the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, as well as the FCT Area Council Chairman, among others. Kekere Ekun described the exercise as a significant milestone in the continuation of efforts by the federal government and the FCT administration to enhance the welfare of judicial officers in the Federal Capital Territory. She stressed the provision of comfortable and befitting accommodation for judicial officers is a practical step towards ensuring that they are well supported, adding that it will also provide environment for judges to carry out their duties with independence. Is this true? And is this not looking more like before her coming, the former CJN did swear in judges who had affiliation to Nyesom Wike, and the CJN himself had his own bloodlines also being given that advantage. Do you think this is just a way of ensuring that scratch my back, I scratch your back? Because there's no way these same persons are telling me that when cases of concerning Nyesom Wike and these people come to the from Bernard, they're going to sway the rulings the other way direction. It seems to feel like this government is focusing on appeasing the judiciary and the military.
Yeah, of course, there are evidences to that on ground. However, I believe that for officers with such high decision-making ability and power upon them, they should have befitting dwellings.
Are we saying that Nigerians who earn lesser than these people, who do not have even the financial muscle to even rent houses, and do not deserve better living conditions?
That is not what I have said. What I have said is that the role is like a traffic warden. The role of a traffic warden is high, but it's not as high as somebody who makes a decision that affects the whole country of 250 million people.
But would you say this person do not have the financial muscle to get a better place for them without government investing in them?
One of the things that needs to be put on ground as a means to fight corruption is that people with high serving capacities should have less rationale to steal, to be corrupt. Meaning the system should provide good environment that there is less rationale to steal. I'll give you an example. I know you have something to say. Hold on.
Farouk Lawal just came out of prison.
Yes.
For corruption.
Yes.
And he was a lawmaker.
Yes.
Earning well. But he still dipped his hands into stuff.
Yes. I want to give you an example. I worked in the bank. Before the bank employs you, they do a test. They try to bring the best hands. The bank tries to pay well. The bank also puts a system, a software that you work with, so that they can monitor all your transactions for the next 20 years. The bank has a call over where another staff looks at your work. The same way the bank has leave. You provide I'm just giving an example. Okay. You provide an environment where the officer working there has far less reasons to want to steal.
But has it happened in Nigeria?
That's what I'm saying. It works in the bank. It has worked.
Minister of Humanitarian Affairs that had issues in terms of diversion of money, governors that divide monies.
That's what I'm saying. It has worked. What I'm saying, it has worked in the bank. Because first of all, good housing, good pay, and then you also made the part I said, good way of looking at what they are doing. I told you about the system. I told you about call over. I told you about spot audit checks. All of these things are the things that should also be brought into the judiciary, which will have spot checks. An agency that can just walk into the courts and ask for their papers to see what's on ground. We need to have a right environment. I want to put it in a Christian way, a garden of Eden. God didn't make man and throw him in a desert. He put him in a garden. There must be an environment that conditions them to want to work well and not to steal. But when I've seen local government chairmen who are earning, back then in the day, who are earning 17,000 a month back then, but they had chances to dip their hands to get 200,000 per day. So there's a rationale inside of them justifying their stealing that they are being poorly paid. So we need to remove that rationale, first of all. You are well paid, you are in a well-living environment. If we are able to now deal with that, we can now say, we catch you with any infraction, you are gone. The person has a rationale to think well. We need to do the good side and also the flogging side,
but
a balance.
In some quarters, it's believed that these gifts, so to say, or these incentives or initiatives that are targeted to key, sectors of our national life is meant to favor the ruling class currently.
Imagine if
you rule that out.
We cannot rule that out. However, imagine if the president does this in 2 years' time. It's going to be worse. It's going to be closer to the election. It's going to be, you are doing this because the election is in a few months' time. It's going to be all more crazy. So right now, there's not any serious judgment that we say is on ground. All Supreme Court cases have passed. We just have Ondo election and Edo in court. Those are the issues we have on ground now. So I think it's a good time to do it. They need to have those houses. I believe it is part of what the government should provide for them.
Do you think it's the initiatives or by the government seem to be skewed towards one direction? A few months ago, we had an increase of their allowances and salaries.
Yes.
Now they're having houses. Are there no other sectors of our national life, like those in the education sector, those in the health sector, that deserve such?
Yes. It's easier to provide a house for 40 judges than to provide a house for 4 million people. First of all, let's establish that. This is 40 houses we're talking about for 40 judges. It's easier to provide that than to provide a house for 4 million people. I am not saying it is right. I am saying that it is easier to provide that. They are handling high-profile cases. However, the government should look into housing for the masses.
But
we are all here for the masses.
They are not going to be biased if cases that concerns Mr. President, that concerns the ruling party, that concerns Nelson Wike especially. Don't you think they would be biased naturally?
I don't.
Knowing that they are the ones that provided them these.
I don't believe it is them that provided them these houses. These houses are provided by Nigeria, sir.
But
It is funded by Nigeria's budget, by our funds. I don't think Wike put his hand into his back pocket to fund this. If he doesn't do it and any other president does it, this same media heist will still take place. So imagine if you want to build the National Assembly now. Let's imagine you want to build the National Assembly now. Let's imagine all what was said about the 1999 administration. But it was built and it is running and is in use. I believe that not everything has must be read with a connotation. They should do this and get this done, and they should face mass housing for the masses.
All right, I'll rest my case there, but still not.
I'm still not convinced.
Because it seemed very obvious, the line and the direction where this, favors are going towards a specific direction. In some quarters, it's rumored that, the government is making sure the military get all they want so that they don't have any reason.
Are you aware that during the Obasanjo government, some SAs stayed in Transcorp for 8 years?
Okay, so
that's worse. Get them a house. You see, these things can be pandered. You bring judges from, they don't live in Abuja. You bring judges from wherever and bring them to a place. If you put them where they are, you can provide more security for those 40 judges. I'm coming. They live in the same place. You can provide more security for these 40 judges. Imagine if they live in 40 different parts of Abuja.
So before now, where
and
they living
I am coming. They may be from another state. They don't have to be based in Abuja. That's what I'm saying. You are promoted through the ranks.
Okay.
You are not based here. You've worked in many places all your life, and at this stage of your life, you're now working in Abuja. This is what I'm saying. So it's better for them to be in one place. You can provide security. Imagine somebody's living in Dede and he gets kidnapped, or his family gets picked up, and he has to now skew a judgment for that reason. It's not I believe that not everything that shines is gold, but sometimes what shines is gold.
All right, very interesting take there. I remember that take. All right, let's move on to the next talking point. We've got a very interesting talking point. We're looking at the Tinubu government, and we've got one man talking as the 2023 presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP. Prince Adewale Adebayo has accused President Bola Tinubu-led government of worsening Nigeria's economic woes. Adebayo likened the government policies, including the removal of petrol subsidies and the flotation of the naira, to squeezing Nigerians like oranges, leaving them to bear the brunt of escalating hardship across the nation. All right, before we get into that discourse, I will go for a very quick break. When we return from this break, we'll be looking at what Adebayo is saying. Is he right that the president is squeezing Nigerians like oranges? After this break, stay with us. Is the desk on Global Television?
Nigeria. Come join Anthony Momadou on television's most compelling and facts-finding talk live show.
We are the Palestinians.
Can we not
We
say
are the
that again?
Canaan because
That this country gets it right.
who are these bandits?
It's the Dex on Global Television, where we analyze and dissect storming issues and commentaries in the world's biggest black nation, Nigeria.
Who is being held accountable for this money?
The eyes have it.
We stay and decide policies and reforms on the Dex. Tune in Mondays to Fridays, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Global Television. Let's stay on the Dex.
All right, welcome back. Still the desk on Global Television, and we've got lots of things on our desk this evening, and including the SDP presidential candidate in the person of Adebayo saying the president has squeezed, liking Nigeria's situation as squeezing Nigerians or squeezing orange, squeezing Nigerians like oranges, according to the SDP's presidential candidate. Do you agree with the analogy he made as regards the situation Nigerians are facing? Do you agree with him?
I agree with him 100%. Yes. The president is squeezing Nigerians. You see, and that's about the same thing every big business does. Everybody makes money off the masses. I'll say it again. Everybody makes money off the masses. And the few who don't make money off the people who have made money off the masses. So let's call a celebrity. For example, let me say Davido sings songs. We watch his songs. We like his page. We follow him. And then he becomes an ambassador of one company. And then he gets a deal with Globacom. And then he gets invited. I'm coming. Just giving you examples. So now when all of this takes place, the same person now does a giveaway. It's not illegal, but everybody makes money off the system. This is what I'm saying. So where we need to fix this is that the pressure on the masses is becoming too much. The fuel situation is pushing people to the brinks. People who had savings have sold their cars. People who had savings two years ago have run out of savings and have started selling their cars. People have started parking their cars at home. Some said some people have sold theirs to even feed, to even, people are not talking about luxuries again. So I agree with him. The masses are being pressed. But we have one refinery working now. Like I said, we have not had a refinery work. The last refinery built in Nigeria was built in 1984. That was very bad of Nigeria. What were we doing for 40 years? Were we sleeping for 40 years in which we knew this was the greatest product that we have as a country? This is our greatest daily demand. Apart from oxygen that God gives us and water, fuel is our greatest national daily demand in every nook and corner of Nigeria. Why did we wait 40 years for us to start having our first refinery? Why did we wait 40 years till 3 refineries is being fixed? If I was Tinubu, I wouldn't have fixed 3. I wouldn't have attempted to fix 3 refineries. I'll have found one of the 3 refineries to fix. This Dangote issue is dilly-dallying for too long. As of today, I cannot tell you if Dangote wants to sell us fuel cheap or if Dangote wants to become the richest man in the world. He has moved up in the last 1 month, to top 50 richest men in the world. Nigerians are dying. You see, I've said it, German companies do not look for profit for 20 years. They run business for 20 years, but they are not looking for profits for 20 years. But our businessmen are looking for monopolies and are looking for profits months after on a product that is drying up every Nigerian and pushing us all up to the brink. So I will blame the president, I'll blame the people running the monopolies in those sectors, and he needs to rethink some of these things. How fast can this refinery reduce the price of fuel without being subsidized? Because once it gets subsidized, we are back where we started. If Dangote says, okay, I'm going to move the fuel from 1,100 to 600, but you'll be paying me 500 back end, we are back at the square one, but worse than where we were. So this is where we are now.
All right, for the parties, SSP and other political parties, do you think they've also done their own bit in terms of being right opposition parties rather than just take a stick on the government anytime they choose or they feel like, or when they feel the people are crying, they now come out and make statements as a way of showing support for the people? But have they done their own bit to also support the government in getting the country to the right path?
I don't think any party wants to support the government.
No,
I've said it in many forums that the greatest problem of Nigeria is not governance, it's not resources, is our politicking. Our politicking is wrong. Our politicking is the greatest reason why Nigeria is where it is today. So we don't have topical oppositions, like you said. We just pander to the people, say what the people want to hear because the people are in pain, and then walk up with that, and then so that in 2 years' time when they ask you, what did you say when we were going through pain, you say, refer to my what I said in the news 2 years ago when you were crying. I said I were all crying along with you. But go to their houses, they are still living in the posh houses that they lived in. This is a psychological game by the rich. The elites are competing against the elites. There's no masses in this game. There's no presidential candidate that can tell me now he's part of the masses. They all live in mansions. So this is a game of the rich versus the rich. The poor are not even featured in this game yet. So these are the issues we have, and these are the issues we must fix.
All right, let's live in. We've got some interesting talking point as regards update. Let's see if we can get update as regards the Supreme Court following the suit filed by 19 state governors contesting the constitutionality of the laws that establish the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in the country. The Supreme Court is set to rule today. We'll be getting updates on that ruling. The governors and the EFCC are eagerly awaiting the judgment of the Apex Court, which would confirm the legality or otherwise of the Anti-Graft Commission. The state government in the suit had argued that the Supreme Court in Dr. Joseph Nwobike versus Federal Republic of Nigeria held that it was a United Nations Convention against Corruption that was reduced into the FCC Establishment Act, and that in enacting the law in 2004, the provision of Section 12 of the 1999 Constitution as amended was not followed. They argued that in bringing a convention into Nigerian law, the provision of Section 12 must be complied with. According to the plaintiffs, the provision of the Constitution necessitated the majority of the state houses of assembly agreeing to bring the convention in before passing the EFCC Act and others, which was allegedly never done. For you, do you think the 19 state governors or government have a case in terms of this judgment?
Nigeria is a train wreck at the moment. I cannot understand why this is the greatest problem of the governors. The EFCC is supposed to be an agency that monitors economic and financial crimes. Are they trying to say that their House of Assemblies or they themselves support financial crimes? That this document was brought from somewhere? Did they need this document to be brought from anywhere for them to know that thou shalt not steal public funds? This is very basic. I hear that 3 states pulled out of the judgment today. That's the right thing to do. I don't know what religion or ethos that they crawled out from, but anywhere in the world, stealing public funds is wrong. And I don't see, and they have immunity. They should even understand that with the immunity they have, I don't even understand why they are fighting this. I cannot see why they are fighting it, because you say that your state House of Assemblies were not
carried along. So they didn't follow the due process before the enactment of the EFCC law.
Carry them along. Or are you saying your state House of Assemblies?
Wasn't it wrong for the government of the day then, Basanjo's era, to enact that law without following the due process, getting everybody's assent to that contribution to that law, that act, before it was, enacted?
Yeah, my grandfather couldn't speak English. I can't hold him responsible for that. They were the history that brought us where we are. We've had now 25 years of democracy. If they didn't do what they did then, we wouldn't have been here. So, battering them for whatever lapses they had on something that is a strong moral ground, I don't see that's a big issue. This is something that should happen. It shouldn't even happen in court. It's something that the governors should bring up in any of the fake meetings they went to. President, the EFCC Act was not properly followed and it was not presented to the House of Assemblies. Can it be presented to the House of Assemblies? Very simple matter that will have gone. I don't believe any state should support corruption, especially for people who already have immunities. I cannot understand this.
All right, let's look at the fact that 3 states, we've got Ebonyi, we've got Anambra, and also I think Adamawa, these 3 states. What do you think had made them decide to make this? And is this a sign that the other governors are going to lose the way it's already going? Because we've got the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, also in the picture. Do you think the states are beginning to get cold feet?
I don't think they will lose. I don't think they will lose, but you win this in court, but you lose this morally. This is what we're saying. It's like me telling you that I need a right to steal. You can never have a right to steal. This is what we're saying. You have immunity already. The laws are already on ground. This is a system to keep us in check, to ensure that we do not misappropriate public funds. It's a very simple thing. It's something that even if I was a governor, I would like to have on ground to help me and the officers that I have given public trust to be held accountable. So I don't understand this dilly-dallying. I think those governors pulled out because Ebonyi sees himself as close to the presidency. Same for...
Okay, because of Dave Umahi.
Yes.
Okay.
Same for Soludo. We have been seeing this dance. It made effect. We have been seeing this dance for a while. Playing to the center. But for heaven's sake, this is not a moral ground. This is not something that should even be discussed in the first place.
All right, but the fact that the Supreme Court also reserved the judgment aside the 3 states pulling out, does that tell, is that a window for probably negotiations or last-minute efforts to probably turn the tide around?
If they win the case, let's assume that the governors win this case. What is going to happen? This bill will now be passed in all the state House of Assemblies. That's the only thing that will happen differently. And then we now know whether the state assemblies will now permit the EFCC Act, or they will abolish EFCC, then we know where we are going as a country.
If it is peradventure, let's just, since we're taking both sides of the coin, peradventure, the state governors win and the House of Assembly or, discard the EFCC as an agency. Do you think what do you foresee if that plays out?
It means
aside the losing of jobs by the EFCC officials and the states and the lots of money that has been invested in the accommodations, the offices across the state, the cases that have already been fought or still worked upon, the monies invested.
It means that we are going further down the slope. It means we are losing more institutions. We are losing more accountability. Yes, I think they may also go after ICPC. If they find any loophole in this, they may also go after ICPC. This would just mean a brazen corruption. This is, in my opinion, that's what I would see. The fact that you can do anything with public funds and nobody can come for you. One day, if the law can't come for you, vigilante groups will come for you, the masses will come for you, God will come for you. This is public funds. People are dying, for heaven's sake. More monies are given to the state governors now than ever. And if more monies are given to you and you don't want more accountability for it, I can't understand this.
All right, let's hope the Supreme Court, this is going to be a litmus test for the Supreme Court. We hope the very best will happen, as 3 states have already pulled out, and Supreme Court reserving judgment. We'll see what's going to happen in the coming days. But just to let you know that it's going to be a very dicey one, whichever the pendulum swings. All right, let's move to the next talking point as we look at the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has hit back at Senator representing Kwara South, Senator Isa Ashiru, after he accused the agency of being the most corrupt in the country. Ashiru, on October 15, while contributing to a bill seeking to establish a National Institute for Drug Awareness and Rehabilitation, accused the NDLEA as the most corrupt and compromised government agency in Nigeria. He added that NDLEA has failed woefully in its mandate. Reacting to the claims on Monday, the NDLEA spokesperson Femi Babafemi said the senator's comments were born out of vendetta. He noted that the senator's residence in Kwara was raided after intelligence revealed it was being used as a drug point. Babafemi added that his aides, senator's aides, were arrested during the raid while one managed to escape. Babafemi said in another encounter with the senator that intelligence revealed that some of his boys, known as Almost Senator, were dealing in illicit drugs in Offa. We also had Senator Kawo from Kano also did point out the fact that a lot of senators, their offices in the constituencies are used to stockpile of illicit drugs. Is this going to be the real test for Buba Marwa?
People have said, and it's painful to say, that Nigeria is a crime scene. I cannot understand how I am a senator and I am being alleged that in my house, by an agency who is responsible for that drugs are being sold and peddled in my house on a large scale. I would resign. I can't understand. We lack morality in this country. How on earth is this something having two-way accusations? You are the most corrupt agency. No, your house. I don't understand. We are petting drugs. You see, I have a friend who, his family has a very little issue. The man had to leave the whole family, stay with a new lady, and they said the father, just a rich man, is now completely out of fund because him and his newly found love take a drug called ice. And I hear the drug's about 5,000 naira, and you can sip it in a few seconds and you'd need it in a few minutes. A man who was very rich has become very poor and has sold off his first house and is forcing his children to leave the house so that he can sell off the second house to feed and fuel his drug addiction. This is the masses. These are the people who are at the receiving end of these drugs. So if something as horrible as that can take place in a senator's house, and we are still running as a country, then something is very wrong with all of us.
But my question statement, is this going to be the real litmus test for Buba Marwa
Yes,
to
it
prove
is.
that he's truly fighting this war, not fighting it with just the masses, but when it comes to the big X, he's shy to go at them, and because with what Senator Kawu did say from Kano, it's a big allegation, and we're yet to hear that the NDLEA has no swoop on majority of these persons, these senators.
We have called on the government and we have asked that they should allow the police and all law enforcing agencies to compulsorily wear a body camera.
Okay.
So that as they were entering that raid, we have the video. We don't have that.
Are we likely to see that being agreed upon when they even say off the mic?
See, we don't need, see, the reason why evil takes place is because evil happens in secrecy. If you bring it out to the open, nobody will do it on prime time. Get this video, show us the house, show us as you got in, show us as you got in and you met the drugs and everything there. Ganduje is still being held by the neck somehow by Nigerians because of one video scene. Imagine if that video never existed. So these are the things. Let the video come out. Let the people be the judge of these matters. We can't let this continue on and on and on. A high-rising officer's house is said to be with drugs, and his only defense is that agency who came to his house is the most corrupt.
But has the NDLEA actually even proven that, yes, they have not come out with even the stack of drugs they allege or the people they say they arrested to prove the point? Have they gone ahead to do that?
Yeah, this is what I expect them to do. But they should have their law team solidly behind them all the steps so that there is no misstep and these people walk away by one flimsy technicality in court. They should ensure these people are jailed. I'm serious, they should ensure, just as deterrent.
Don't you think it's, even if this will work free, don't you think it will be a deliberate, it will be deliberate, not that they were forced or
No,
they
I
couldn't.
believe that the battle line is drawn. From the kind of word exchange we are getting between both the senator and the drug law agency, there is no parlance here. If there was parlance here, you wouldn't have had.
Well, have you heard weren't you expectant that Buba Marwa would have made a comment or
The
so?
spokesman has spoken on it. He can't be the one to have the first say. He has to have the last say if necessary, or even the presidency. I think it is good that his spokesman has spoken on it. If it's me, I will bring out the people, I'll bring out the drugs. Tidy your legal case first. You are not here for a show, you're not here for drama. Tidy your legal case very well and then proceed. Ensure if you as the case goes on, speeding the case on till these people are jailed. We need to reward good and punish evil. This is the only way forward for this country. Reward good, punish evil. Everywhere evil is, let's punish it. Everywhere good is, let's reward it. That's the only way we are going to get out of this mess.
All right, let's hope for the best. Let's look at the last story we'll be looking at. It has to do with the media and a very interesting issue that talking about aside the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission getting involved in the issue, talking about NDLEA. Let's take it to Enugu, where the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, has apologized to the broadcast industry, the people of Enugu State, and the listening public over the invasion of urban radio by the operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. This contained in a statement by the Director of Public Affairs of NBC, Mrs. Susan Obi, on Monday in Abuja. She said the Commission received with dismay the incursion into urban radio Enugu on October 14 by the operatives of the EFCC during a live radio program. According to her, the incursion, which was purportedly to arrest the program's presenter, Favor Echo, was viewed as a violation of the professional ethics of broadcasting, especially on a live broadcast. Obi added that how the arrest was carried out was improper, adding that the action was regrettable considering the impact of the broadcast media on the society. Let's look at the EFCC. When government agencies or security agencies play to the gallery, is it because they are influenced or they are doing it for someone and not necessarily because a law has been infringed upon?
I think picking her on a live broadcast was a bit far because of the reputation of the organization and the guests who are watching. But picking her was the right thing. A person uses her position to defraud the masses, promising them of a gain on a television show that she is on.
A radio, sorry.
On a radio show that she is on for something she knows that is not a true proceed. It's a breach of public trust, first of all. The FCC has a right. The FCC can even arrest you in a church. So it's just that.
So are you saying the NBC is wrong for apologizing? Because it's against ethics.
NBC has to apologize, first of all. And then.
But wouldn't they have done it after the program? Why?
That is what I am saying. It's not the
Can
best.
two wrongs
It's not the
make a
best way
right?
to handle it. But this is crime, sir. We are petting crime in this country. We just look for any reason to pet crime. Please, if she could have been arrested while she was bathing, they should tie her well and bring her to...
But the NBC code is wrong to do it on a live program. So why would the EFCC play to the gallery? We've seen them several times also play to the gallery in other situations. Do you think there's something wrong as regards, having ways to go about their arrest or getting their job done without looking as if it's been influenced or engineered by someone?
I would say they need training, retraining. You bring in new staff. If they're not updated on all the agencies and all the laws and all the matters affecting every single agency, you can have such issues. Maybe it's some new staff there trying to prove their mettle and show that they're very good on their jobs. If that is the case, they can be sued. EFCC can be sued if there was a breach there, and they will pay for it. See, we just need to stick to the law. If EFCC broke a law, let EFCC pay for the law they broke. If EFCC didn't break a law, let the person who they went to arrest pay for the... See, we are letting a lot of things slip. Abroad, if a great footballer makes a mistake and drives drunk, he will get arrested. There are celebrities in jail. R. Kelly is in jail. You must have a legal system that is bigger than individuals, irrespective of what they've done. Puff Daddy is going to be in jail. These are the issues. We must have a system that is bigger than the individuals or the way we feel about it. This is the only way to fix Nigeria.
All right, we hope all we're saying is going to turn out right, that the system does the right thing, even though we've seen issues where it seemed like the correctional services already talking about the Bobrisky issue where it's been said he had a different apartment from where he was supposed to be put in. So a lot of issues are panning out. But that's how much time is going to allow us to take care. But just before we go, just to let you know that the move by the Department of State Services, DSS, to replace Adeboyiga Fasasi, the Chief Security Officer to President Bola Tinubu, is drawing strong currents in the top intelligence and political circles in Abuja. Report says the Director General of the DSF, Tosin Ajayi, had recently withdrawn Fasasi and replaced him with Rashid Lawal, a deputy director in the service. While the move was interpreted as part of the ongoing reorganization of the service by Ajayi, it has, however, received criticism by some as a witch hunt directed at the outgoing CSO. Some say they were trying to prevent what happened where Mustafa seemed to became larger than life. Do you think this is all about vendetta? Do you think it's about just reorganization, or there's a bit of malice in between?
In my opinion, this is not part of Nigeria's problem. This is not part of Nigeria's problem.
But
because we
don't know about the security of Mr. President.
We don't know as much about what is going on backstage whether he's been changed because they have a flaw,
intelligence
on him, or whether it's about competence or it's about malice.
But shouldn't it be a very, very sensitive issue before someone as important as the president's aide? Should it be done out of any sentiment?
It should not be done out of sentiment. But like I said, we do not have the facts in front of us. It could be that he tried to shoot the president's head. It could be that he failed at his job. It could be that there was an attempt on the president's life. It could be that this is a routine change. There are many variables to this matter. The matters we have most present on our neck.
But this doesn't happen often.
Yeah, this doesn't happen often. The matters we have most present on our neck is the price of fuel and the economy. So I think this is not the greatest matter. We should handle it. They would sort out their matters within themselves. We are only praying that there's no coup. We are suspecting something like that may have taken place last week with the generals that were dropped over the weekend. And it happened really fast with
the rumors of the chief of army staff.
Yes. So all of this might have been part of the reason for that change. We don't have all the facts. That's what I'm saying.
All right. So that we're going to leave it at that. I want to say a big thank you for joining us on the program, The Desk on Global Television. Big thank you to Toba Owojaye for always being here with his very balanced analysis of issues making the rounds from the global perspective and also on the national and sub-national level. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother.
For always being here. All right. My name is Anthony Momodi saying thank you on behalf of the entire production team for being part of The Desk. Let's do this again tomorrow. We'll be highlighting some very key issues making the rounds globally and in Nigeria. Good evening.